howdy, 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 howdy. Welcome to another very special episode of Vic and Hope talking, I guess.
They're all very special.
Yeah. So today we want to get down to brass tacks. So first we're gonna talk about this channel in depth. I'm like Joe Biden over here.
Right? Whoa.
So we're gonna talk a bit about the channel, the direction we've been going in, and what we're hoping to do with this. But anyways, so if you haven't noticed, for about the last 2 weeks, I've been putting a video up. Well, over 2 weeks now. I've been putting a video up every single day on this channel. And I have a bit of a master plan that's been going on. So starting back from the beginning, I put out the quarantine Vic vlog. Well, first we did our Breath of the Wild finale.
Right.
And I dropped that, and after that I put out the quarantine Vic vlog. Because it was getting to this point where the quarantine was getting to the most, like, destructive part of, like, no one really knowing where the fuck this was going and everything shutting down.
The pinnacle of chaos.
Yeah, so it was still fresh chaos. So I recorded that vlog where I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna live. I'm not making any money. All of my work has been canceled. What the fuck am I gonna do? And I joked at the fact that I could do YouTube. You know, that was a meme, but it was more about me thinking that I can't do YouTube as a viable option, at least the way that we've been doing it. Because, like, we started looking at doing live streams and trying to get super chats or whatever, but first of all that is fucking stupid. The systems they have rigged are ridiculous, and then we're only getting, like, 10 people watching anyways, and I feel really bad if it's just one person giving us, like, $20 to $50, and then I'm like, well, now I just feel bad that this one guy really believes in us and we're disappointing him all the time. So I started to go, you know, we've been going in one direction with this for a while. We kind of just took over after Conrad left, and we started doing Let's Plays because it was fun. And we've kind of lackadaisically done Let's Plays for
years?
Like 5 years now. I think 4 years. Me and you have been doing this for 4 years. Yeah. Vic and Hope has been going on for quite a long time. And I think it has gotten to that point where we've said everything about our past and everything that we could possibly say. Like, you guys know us probably better than our fucking parents know us. If you've been following this channel for that long, everything has been said that there is to say, and we're adults. We just don't have that much interesting shit going on in our life to sustain a weekly series, you know?
Podcast-esque.
And that's why it ends up taking these humongous hiatuses, because it's just like we don't have anything to say, and then it feels like a pressure on me to be entertaining for these things that 300 people watch and no one really cares. But, like, I love doing YouTube with you, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that we are decent YouTubers. It's just a matter of, like, finding the right thing to do. So, at the start of April, I was like, I'm going to try to make a video every single day, and through that process, I will work out what the fuck we can do on YouTube and try to find a path for us.
Trial by fire, as they say.
Yeah, so it started off kind of directionless, where I was like, okay, people like Vic Cooks. I'll try to do some Vic Cooks. I'll try to get back into Vic Plays, because people like that when I was doing it. But I very quickly was just feeling like I wasn't... Like, there's just not enough I can do with those concepts, you know? Because it's something where it relies entirely on just me and my charisma and my entertainment. And, like, for Vic Cooks, I feel like I have to be pissed off about something or I have nothing to talk about, you know? I have to be, like, in a shit financial situation. It's not sustainable. I can't do that, like, multiple times a month. Like, it's too hard.
There's despair needed for Vic Cooks to begin.
Like, I gotta be real frustrated and worked up. And then I gotta, like, pop off on camera, and it's just stressful. Like, it's a stressful experience. And then, like, the Vic Plays, I hate doing those alone. It's super weird. I hate having a camera on me and no one to talk to, and it's just super awkward.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't feeling that. And then we started doing the stuff together because, like, naturally, when I did Vic Plays, I was like, this sucks. I need Hope with me, and maybe we can try it. I've resisted trying that before because I always get worried with sort of just laffy-faffy Let's Plays, you know? But, like, when we did
because that's not, like, what PewDiePie does.
Exactly. But, like, when we did Novetta and we did the animal one, that came out really, really good. So I was like, all right, these I like doing with you. I think we're funny. I like watching them. It doesn't matter if, like, because if you think that your work is good, other people will think your work is good, you know? If I am proud of those videos, which I am, I think those are good, solid videos. If I were some, like, it's the kind of shit I like to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's good. I'm fine with it. I like those videos. And then we started trying the anime episode reaction stuff, because it's one of those things where it's like, this is something that, you know, I think we could easily do. We're watching this shit anyways. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
And then I think it was coming out pretty well. So, in the meantime, like, I've been coming up with sort of a multi-phase strategy for the direction I want this channel to go in. I started by analyzing other people's channels and their Patreons and kind of breaking down where I think they're successful, how I think they got their following, and how I think they maintain their following. Because there's sort of a structure about YouTube channels where you need viral videos to get a following. You need good, funny, shareable shit so that you can easily... There's kind of two categories. You can either be funny and brief,
right,
or you can be so incredibly analytical and detailed that you make the definitive video on a thing and everyone wants to share that.
So
you know?
can be a Demolition D or you can be a Ragnaroks.
Exactly. But like, what you can't be is a mediocre analyst or someone who's just saying the same shit that everyone else has said in the same way. You can't come out and just be mediocre and expect people to give you attention. Like, you gotta go in either direction. You either have to be the best at analysis, or you gotta be the funniest at analysis. So, like, I started thinking I need to go in the direction of being funny, and that's kind of what I like to do. And, like, my friends have always enjoyed my rants and things. That's kind of the direction I'm going in. Yeah. So, I started looking at most channels get big because they have viral success with a couple videos, and then they maintain their relevance with their following through other sorts of videos. My best example of this is Red Letter Media. They exploded through Mr. Plinkett shit. That's their bread and butter. You know, that gets that got them started. Base. Yeah. And now they have like 5 different shows all on one channel. They have Half in the Bag, they have the Best of the Worst, and like
they've got review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came for one thing, but you stay for those other things that you find that you like, you know?
Yeah, it's like, if it wasn't for review, I wouldn't have watched Reanimators. So it's like, clearly, even though those are, you know, sub videos, they're great.
And like, you might not click them all the time, but sometimes you will, and you'll enjoy it. Like, I love Best of the Worst. We watch it every single time.
Best of the Worst is great.
It's one of my favorite series because it's hilarious. We love every Half in the Bag because it's informative. We get to share our opinions about the movie, you know. We go, oh, we just watched that. I wonder what they think. Ah, fuck those guys, you know. Like, we hardly ever even agree with them, but it's fun to watch because they're cool guys. They always have a funny opening bit, you know?
Yeah, it's like, you don't have to agree to understand, you know? It's like, they have a good point.
Because at the end of the day,
I don't agree.
For me, YouTube is my source of TV. Like, I just want shit to watch by people that I like. And I want regular uploads from those people so that I have something to watch all the time, because I don't like a whole lot of different people. So I want the people that I do like to be uploading a lot. So that's the kind of YouTuber that I want us to be, you know, is the kind of person, not the most in-depth person in the world, just someone that's uploading regularly and giving you relief, and you watch us while you cook dinner or whatever, or you eat dinner, you know, like that's the appeal that I think we can have.
It's the adult equivalent of coming home from school and watching Toonami while you do your homework.
Exactly. It's just like good carefree content, and that's what I think our bread and butter should really be. So, in terms of content going forward, I've kind of narrowed down what I enjoy doing with you. We've put out some videos that I think are solid. I think they're recreatable. That's a very important thing when it comes to YouTube, is that it can't just be that you recorded a good video. You have to be able to recreate that regularly. It has to be something that you always enjoy doing every time.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the direction we're heading in with our Vic and Hope together content. Then there is the Vic Rants content. The first one of those has come out, which is why I'm making this video, because I didn't want to talk about this before I released a rant-style video. This is not the video I thought I would talk about this after. I have another one coming. There is one that I have not recorded yet that was the original idea that kind of got all of, like, when I came up with this idea, I was like, we might have a shot if I do shit like this all the time. But it is in the same format. Like, the All Anime is Cringe was a test run for the format to make sure that I could pull it off and that people enjoyed it. So going forward, I can adapt that format into something that I can make sustainable, because, like, just my opinion piece rants are not sustainable. I will run out of opinions, like Conrad often does, you know? I need that inspiration from something like the Tower of God video that inspired the All Anime is Cringe video, because there was this big thing in the comments where everyone called us cringe, and I was like, well, no shit, Sherlock.
Joke's on you.
We're all fucking cringe. So that's what inspired that video. But that's sort of the new style that I'm trying to work into. So, the real business here is Patreon. Because Hope has always pushed for me to make us Patreon, and I have always been against it because of how the channel was.
Well,
you've suggested it.
To be fair, I also suggested a Ko-fi.
Yes, which I did make. I just haven't advertised it because I started.
It's not like I was just saying we should demand monthly tribute from our subscribers.
It's just I am very fucking weird about asking for money, and I have a whole philosophy about it that I'll get into, because I want to start a Patreon for this channel, but I didn't want to start a Patreon until we figured out what this channel is and the new identity going forward. Because it's not... At this... I wouldn't say we've hit a point of no return yet. This still kind of has to work out. Like, this month kind of needs to... Really, the next 2 or 3 months, because you can't expect a channel to work out in a year, you know? Like, it's really a 4-year plan to get successful at anything, but we can get, like, a little success by the end of this summer, I think. I've been setting it as a goal in my mind that if we could get, like, $500 a month by the end of the summer, then that's enough for me to have the motivation to sustain this going forward and make it a real thing. Because that's enough where it's, like, a nice little chunk of rent that makes it worth it. And this is something that we would both basically be splitting because it's both of our channel. But anyways, not about the money. Here's my philosophy on Patreon. Because to me, there are 2 different types of patrons. There are investor patrons that just like you and want you to keep making shit. And they don't care what it is. They just want to hear your voice more. They'll watch anything you make. I think most of Conrad's patrons are this, until he started his rant hole, because the second type of patron to me is a transactional patron. So the investors just want to give you money so that you can keep doing what you do and you keep making videos. They don't really care what you're putting out.
They are a patron in the truest sense.
The transactional patron, which is something that I am, wants to give you money and receive a product, which I think is very reasonable. I would not give anyone money if I weren't getting something in return. So I will give the Dick Show $5 a month sometimes, not often, to get bonus episodes. You give him $5, he gives you more content. He has different tiers. I only like the $5 tier. I don't care about live streams and all that. But anyways, you can't just ask for money and not give extra benefit in return, in my opinion. So, I'm trying to get us to a point where we have something to offer for reward tiers that is something that we are comfortable giving and that people want to have.
Receive.
And that, like, just doing Vic and Hope, the regular podcast gaming show, like, there's no reason to have a Patreon for that. There's no transaction that we can give people. So this is sort of the direction we're heading in. This is my mentality going in that direction, and I've been coming up with hopefully some decent ideas on how to structure this Patreon, and that's why we're making this video, because I want our fans' inputs. If you're someone who would pay for the Patreon, I want to know what you would like what are things that interest you in someone's Patreon? What do you think we could do that you would appreciate? I have my ideas, but I want to hear your ideas too, because I don't regularly use people's Patreons, so I don't really know. But anyways, so there's also So there's transactional content that you give to people, but also the investors are investing on a promise and a dream, you know? So the promise and the dream that I'm constructing now is that I think we can do an episode of Vic and Hope Play and an episode of Vic and Hope Watch every single week, no matter what. Because this is all about, you know, I'm doing daily uploads now. That's obviously not sustainable when the quarantine shit ends.
Right, in the long term.
Yeah, and we go back to work. But what I want is to turn this into a part-time side hustle for me. So when I go back to work, because I'm not constantly working, you guys know this, I spend a lot of time at home. I am more than capable of putting out a Vic and Hope Watch and a Vic and Hope Play every single week. It's totally great. I love editing them. It's a ton of fun. I know I can deliver on that. And so that's sort of what I think is the bread and butter content going forward for patrons. I would also promise a Vic rant every month. The full edited, like the anime is cringe, like the video that will be coming forward, which you will understand when you see that video what that is, and I think people will be excited to patron us for the continuation of that sort of content, which is something that I would not do unless there were profit involved, because it's going to be a lot of work. Yeah. It's going to be tiring. But anyways, the Patreon I am going to try to launch with that video so that I can advertise the Patreon at the end of that video. That'll probably come in a week or two at most, maybe a week. I'd say maybe a week. I'll probably be able to put that out. And then I'll advertise the Patreon at the end of that. So I just need to construct what this Patreon is in the meantime before that video comes out, because I think that one has the potential to get a lot of views, and so I want to be able to advertise Patreon with that video, you know? Giving you guys the inside scoop. I don't know if people regularly give inside scoops, but I like to be extremely transparent and get input on this shit, because, I don't know, I'm insane, I have nothing to lose, who knows? Is this interesting? Do you think this is cool what I'm doing here? I don't know.
I would assume there's some people that appreciate the transparency.
Yeah. That's what I want. I want transparency, and I want people's input on what they think would be a worthwhile Patreon. So some ideas of patron-exclusive content. I'm thinking. So this is a big one that I want people's opinion on, because I don't know about the future of Vic and Hope Let's Play podcast content right now, because
we're breaking up.
Yes, because we're breaking up. But it's just that we already were super irregular about it. We were already kind of like, you know, the videos were getting longer and longer. They get less and less accessible to new people.
Yeah.
And I do think that's the kind of thing where even if this channel does grow, the viewership for those videos is not going to grow. It's going to stay exactly the same as where it was. And the more that we do grow, if we do grow, the less comfortable we will be talking openly about everything that we do on Vic and Hope, the podcast, you know, even though it's already out there, but yeah, moving forward. Yeah. Yeah. So I've had the idea of not doing the regular Vic and Hope, you know, the way we've been doing it anymore, and moving it to a patron exclusive podcast where we do it maybe once a month and just do like a big long one that people can listen to at I don't know how long it would be. I would say every 2 weeks, like Conrad's 2-week review, but I don't know that we will have enough to say from 2 weeks. Yeah. Because I feel like if we did it more than once a month, it would get exhausting. But I don't know. But I would want to do a once a month Vic and Hope podcast for the patrons, and then I would also want to do either a segment in that podcast or its own separate video, a once a month Q&A or listener call-in podcast where people send us voicemails, because I always love that shit. I think it's hilarious. I think people would do funny stuff and we would answer voicemails or something like that, you know? So that's something I think we would be able to offer that would be neat. It would be our bonus episode or whatever, and we'd probably make that available at $1 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because I don't.
What are the tier rates that you're thinking?
What I don't want to do is say that we're gonna do these things and have people that have been listening to us for years who don't want to pay for the shit they've been getting for free for years to have to pay $10 to hear us talk about fucking whatever. You know, I think that's stupid. I think that's unfair to the fans that have stuck it out for a really long time and enjoy our presence. So let me know, you tried and true loyal listeners and commenters, like, what do you think of that concept? Because I love you guys. I'm so stupid about all of this shit.
This is something that's very hard for Victor.
It's painful for me. I don't know why.
It's really, really tough for him. I really had to needle him about even going for a Ko-fi. But, I mean, if this is, we're really making a go at it, and you're doing those daily uploads, and you have this plan, then at the very least, I thought a Ko-fi was fair, because it's just a one-time thing. If you feel that effort was worth $5, then toss $5, toss $1, fucking whatever. It's not like you're obligated to anything.
But that's what, people do that with super chatting for streams and stuff, so you can reserve that for streams. I don't want to get into the whole Ko-fi thing, but I think a Patreon would be a good way for us to go forward if people like the content we're putting out, like the structure of the Patreon, and believe in my ability to pull it off, which I believe in my ability to do this right now, That is the promise I am making. I've spent all these last couple weeks grinding out videos so that I could get to a point where I was comfortable saying I enjoy making this content and I think we can keep making it. Like, that was the ultimate goal of phase 1. Phase 1 of the plan.
Some Marvel shit. There's multiple phases.
We're about halfway through phase 1 right now. Phase 1 is
we're at the first Captain America movie.
Phase 1 is sculpting the channel's identity going forward and beginning the process of growing an audience, which will begin with the new series that I am going to start doing. And so another thing for Patreon, we were thinking about doing like the Discord server thing, because I think if in the incredibly unlikely event that this channel does grow and our comment section starts to become shit, maybe it would be good to have a Discord where us and fans can talk about whatever video we put out after it comes out. I don't want to get too far into parasocial relationships because
you're so afraid.
Because I'm terrible at communicating with my real life friends, so I know I will be terrible at communicating with people on a Discord. So I want them to know that if there is a Discord, don't expect it to be a thing where I'm in there all the time talking to you, because I am terrible and I will forget about it constantly. Like, I don't want to promise people that I'm going to be their friend on the internet, because I'm not good at doing that. I'm fucking shit at communicating with anyone. So it would mostly be a thing where I put out a video, we check the Discord, chat with the people about the video a little bit so I can get the people's feedback. Impressions and feedback, because I enjoy that. I read all the comments, I favorite the ones that I like, I enjoy that feedback and discussion with the people who care, but only to the extent of the day I put the video out, and not to the extent where, like, I can maintain friendships with people, because I can't maintain friendships with my actual real-life friends. That's what I'm trying to say there. Okay. I think those are all the Patreon ideas I had right now. I'm sure people have good suggestions for us. Let me know if I suck and I'm an idiot, and you think I'm a faggot who deserves no money, or a internet beggar. But at the end of the day, the mentality going into it, I looked at other creators, I looked at their Patreon, how much they're making, how many people are actually patroning, and based on the number of people we have now, we would make so little that I would feel like I'm just taking advantage of people who like me a lot, And I don't want to be the guy doing that. So the goal is to grow the channel to a point where there are enough people who would want to patron, that the money is significant enough that I treat it like it's an actual job, and not like I'm just fucking around with my girlfriend uploading random videos, And it is. I have been putting full-time, if not more than full-time hours into this channel the last 2 weeks. I have been on the grind constantly. I'm editing while Hope is home, which I don't normally do. I usually, when Hope gets home, I put anything on, like, I'm done working, Hope is home. I have been doing a bunch of work after she gets home. I've been waking up early, grinding out videos and editing. There's a bunch of stuff that we recorded that I fucking deleted and haven't released. Like, I am putting in the full-time work right now. I will not be able to put in the full-time work once I get back into society, unless the channel somehow got to the point where I'm making a full-time income from the Patreon.
But that seems highly unlikely.
That is extremely unlikely. I would be fucking out of even getting up to $500 a month from Patreon. I think is already extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
In a very optimistic perspective on things, but I'm trying to be an optimist and fucking, you know, it's the quarantine. What the fuck else do I have to do? It's now or never. You know,
this is the perfect
it's literally
time to make a gambit.
There's no other time where I would have had enough time to figure out this YouTube shit that we're doing going forward and to be able to structure this channel and figure out what kind of content we want to make. There's no other time I would have been able to do that. And that's what's been happening with this quarantine. And I'm hoping to transition it into something that is sustainable going forward. And I hope people understand that. And I hope they're on board. I hope they're psyched because I'm psyched to release a bunch of great content. I'm psyched to try to turn this into a side hustle. And I think it'll be cool. And then if my wildest dreams came true, I would make enough to sustain myself on a month-to-month basis. And then in my professional life, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can do crazy music videos. I can do whatever because I don't have to worry about shooting fucking weddings and shit. That would be awesome. That would be incredible. But anyways, I digress. Maybe it's TMI. Maybe this video is fucking way TMI, but who knows? Anyways, this has been like 28 minutes, so now I gotta get into the shit people came for.
Victor.
What?
If you don't come out of this quarantine with a new side hustle, then you failed.
Shame. I'm a failure.
Some Instagram inspiration for you.
Without further ado, I'm gonna stop and start the desktop recording I've had going, because it's 27 minutes long. 3, 2, 1, record! Maybe I'll separate these videos at this point.
That was a long-in.
That was long. Oh, I figured it would be. I had a lot to say.
A new bit.
No, let's just keep it as one video. Fuck it. Who cares?
It's gonna be really long. Alright, live your dreams, I guess.
The people who want to watch this want to watch an hour-long video with us. We'll put a timestamp if they want to skip all that.
This is background noise.
Okay. Alright, we'll start a new video then. You want to start a new video? Okay.